Hello poppets, I hope you're doing fantastic and welcome to the Dredge showcase. In this video we'll be breaking down how the killer plays, what we found out during the PTB, and we'll also break down his base kit, including numbers and stats of his abilities. I hope you enjoy, I'm really excited for this one. This cursed Thanksgiving turkey has a ton of potential, and in his default kit with no add-ons included, he already has anti-looping capabilities, high mobility, plus he makes the Onryo jealous of being the more successful sibling. So without further ado, let's hop right into the Dredge showcase. The Dredge is a standard killer with a movement speed of 115% or 4.6 meters per second. Has a terror radius of 32 meters in addition to being tall, and he comes with two built-in abilities. First is called the Gloaming, and it gives him 3 options right off the bat. These options are teleporting to a locker, returning to the Remnant which is placed during the start of the ability, or cancelling his ability altogether with no negatives. Let's discuss locker teleportation first though. While holding down the power button, a Remnant is left behind and you may teleport to any locker on the map. This can be sped up with Dredge's Nightfall, but more on that later. You can look around while inside the locker, you can exit at any time facing any direction, which is great for tracking. Once you reach a locker and you are hiding inside of it, you can move to another locker, but doing so will consume a token of the Gloaming. These tokens will recharge after exiting the locker however. His giveaways for entering a locker are subtle but spooky. Upon entering a locker for a split second, the locker will slightly open, giving an indication that the Dredge is inside. But after a few seconds, the locker becomes corrupt and gives away its position altogether. Typically, because of this, lingering in a locker isn't a smart idea. It is also important to note the Dredge can be slowed down by survivors locking lockers. This will make it tougher for the Dredge to escape a locker and slow down his exiting animation. This can only be done once per locker and cannot be undone. However, the Dredge can basic attack to remove any pre-locked locker on the map, meaning it's not smart for survivors to take a detour around the map and pre-lock everything. It is also important to note that if you teleport to a locker with the survivor inside, it is an immediate grab. The same applies for if a survivor tries to enter a locker that the Dredge is vibing in. You can't teleport to a locker within 12 meters of a hooked survivor, but do not worry, you can put them in shack basement and get some make a choice value, maybe even some free devour stacks. He only has basic attacks after all, so you'll gain full benefit from perks utilizing basic attacks. Do you remember when I said that the Gloaming provides 3 options right off the bat? Let's discuss those now. This Remnant I mentioned a few times before is a black orb left behind upon entering the Gloaming. This is Dredge's anti-looping buddy. You know that purple add-on for Spirit called Wakizashi Saya that allows her to press her active ability button and return to her husk? Yeah, it's basically that. This is the Dredge's anti-looping power, and it allows you to place this Remnant and follow the loop to force the survivor into a position where they must guess a 50-50. If you can't hit them with the Dredge, warp to the Remnant and hit the survivor instead. This is the second option with the Gloaming. The third is to cancel the Gloaming altogether if they don't go near the Remnant and instead hit them normally. Right here, Viking decides he doesn't want to give me a fancy hit with the Remnant teleportation, so instead decides to walk away and get hit in the back. The direction you face when placing the Remnant matters, as this will be the same direction you face when returning back to the Remnant. You want to have the survivor in your line of sight as soon as possible for the quickest possible hit. Right here, I actually placed my Remnant correctly, but I teleported too late and so I lost where Viking was and got a bit disorientated. One thing I personally messed up but corrected after 1 or 2 mistakes was preemptively lunging after teleporting, like you would with Wraith after uncloaking. You don't get that speed boost, so just be patient and you're going to land the hit. You are slower while Gloaming. You are reduced to 3.68 meters per second from 4.6. If a survivor takes this as an opportunity to shift W, look for nearby lockers, or cancel Gloaming and continue the chase. The Remnant can be destroyed with touch by the Dredge or the survivor. Be careful with this. Doing so means the killer can no longer teleport to the Remnant without cancelling and re-enabling the Gloaming. Flashlights, however, do not destroy the Remnant, unlike the other entity gifted powers such as hag traps. To fully make use of the Remnant, place the Remnant by the survivor's desired location, such as pallets or windows. Follow the survivor around the loop so they are sandwiched between the Remnant and the Dredge. They'll have to make a 50-50 guess, which you should be able to capitalize on every single time. This is similar to the Hag, where her trap can be placed on a pallet or window so that when the survivor vaults, they are locked in animation and are a free hit. Bear in mind that more experienced survivors may recognize that you want to teleport and will fake running to the Remnant. This will bait out the teleport and they shall be on the safe side. If a survivor is known to do this, fake the teleport, cancel your ability and smack them. The real mind game is that there is no mind game versus good players. Dredge already has a pretty good base kit. He has the Remnant, which offers fantastic anti-loop potential, while Locker Teleportation offers some pretty nice map pressure mobility. But what if I told you there's more? Let's talk about Nightfall. His Nightfall is fantastic, and once the meter is filled, the Nightfall shall commence automatically. This will force the survivors to navigate in near total darkness. If you have seen the PTB gameplay, you may be thinking,
Dinky, you can see perfectly, what are you on about?
Don't worry, it is bugged in its current state and will be fine for the actual release of the chapter. Nightfall will be buffed for the release of the chapter, and it's already pretty solid. The Dredge is undetectable, the survivors can't see auras as they are blind, and on top of that, the Gloaming cooldown reduces from 12 seconds to 4. It's pretty good. Here is a perfect example of the potential from the Dredge during Nightfall. In his first clip, we get a free hit due to Locker Teleportation, but can't quite catch up in time to the God pallet. With Nightfall, however, we shut the loop down. Also, as an added bonus, the Remnant gains a 16 meter Killer Instinct buff, which lingers for 3 seconds. Not bad. I'm also going to take some time to talk about how Nightfall is activated. It took me a little bit to understand, but thank you to DBD Wiki, you've really spelled it out for me. I needed that, I'm an idiot. Nightfall begins when a 300 charge activation threshold is met. Charges can be obtained through various ways, and I'm going to split these conditions into 2 categories for easier understanding. Instant charges and passive charges. Instant charges are easier to understand, so let's talk about those first. These type of charges are added immediately with a flat amount. There are 3 ways to get instant charges. The first, hooking a survivor, which will add 20 charges. The second, hitting a survivor, this will also add 20 charges. But the third, teleporting back to the Remnant, this will only add 10. On the other hand, we have passive charges. These are naturally obtained and build up Nightfall every single second, but 2 conditions determine how many charges are added at one time. The first condition works like the perk Thanatophobia, but for every injured or dying survivor, you gain more passive charges per second. For example, the standard amount is 0.25 charges per second for everyone healthy. But with one survivor injured or dying, the charges will start from 1 charge per second and increase to 4 with everybody being either injured or dying. Perks such as Thanatophobia or Sloppy Butcher may also have huge rewards on this killer, as this will mean people shall stay injured for longer. So, Nightfall in theory should be arriving sooner. Last but not least, the final condition to be met for generating passive charges is this. It's way simpler, so brace yourself. Hiding in a locker will provide the Dredge with 6 charges per second. That is it. To wrap things up, I just want to say a few things with regards to perks. Information perks such as Barbecue and Chili, Discordance or Tinkerer would be amazing on Dredge as he can move into a position quickly and apply pressure with his teleport. Anything that benefits off of a basic attack such as Devour Hope, Jolt or Make Your Choice also provide great value as no special attacks are in his kit. I personally don't believe you will get that much value from perks that rely on a terror radius. Dark Devotion won't be that good on the Dredge because he becomes undetectable in Nightfall, so therefore it won't provide that much use. The Dredge is a killer which is a ton of fun and has a huge amount of potential. Putting time into mastering this killer will make you a monster at high MMR, and with time you should be jump scaring any survivor in no time. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Please let me know any tips. This is the first guide I've ever done. Make sure to share this with people so you can have a great idea of what the Dredge will do before the chapter releases. Finally, consider stopping by as we stream 4 days a week on Twitch if you care to join. I'll see you next time. Peace guys.